Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Power Hour radio show. It is 25 June 2010. Things are changing in the world. Not for the better right now, either. It's really either going to be, as Matt Stein says, game change or game over. Okay. All right. We want to talk to, in just a second, the mayor of Orange Beach, Alabama, ladies and gentlemen. This man stands head and shoulders above his people. I've been told that they have so much respect for him. He is doing everything that he can for his people right now, and there are very few of those people that are standing up and continuing to stand through all this tragedy. So we're very pleased that we've been able to make contact with Mayor Tony Keenan, because he has a lot of things on his plate right now. Believe me, there are a lot of things other than being on the Power Hour that he could do right now, but we are very fortunate that Aaron met up with him in the Gulf, and we're glad that Aaron is down there, and appreciate the Power Team members who have sort of helped out on this financial trip to be able to support her in doing this, because she just couldn't stand it. She wanted to know what is going on, what is happening, and now we know. It appears also that there are a lot of things along the beach that have taken place politically that may bring us to the point of where we are right now. I don't know if the mayor is going to speak to that or not. John, are we okay? Okay, we're waiting to make contact again. For some reason, the phone situation is real tough in the beach area. And I will remind you that we've also received word that yesterday, just as Aaron was heading into Pensacola, they shut down the beaches. Those beautiful, beautiful white sand beaches are no longer. Ladies and gentlemen, that's just part of the story. Now I'm going to bring on Mayor Tony Keenan to the Power Hour today. Thank you so much, Mayor, for joining us in the Power Hour this morning.
No, ma'am. Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
I don't know what to say, sir, and I know you don't either, but there's something horribly wrong in this whole entire Gulf area, and it's breaking everyone's heart, and I cannot imagine what it's doing to your people right now.
Well, thank you for that. It's just a never-ending nightmare, you know, sort of like a hurricane that just never stops.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, reality set in over the last 2 weeks. We had been blessed not to be impacted severely up until, again, like I said, the last 2 weeks, but it has really, really affected us drastically.
Well, I appreciate that you spent time with us on the air, and I know you have very limited time. Aaron Dakins, who met with you yesterday, said that you have some very sharp opinions about what's going on. Now, I would be concerned saying anything right now, given the fact that I may be wanting some kind of federal support, so I might be a little bit hesitant to say what I'm thinking. Just tell us, you know, and protect your area and protect your people, but what is going on in your area right now?
Well, it's probably a little too late for that for me, because I've been pretty vocal for some time now. It's on two fronts. I feel like, for the most part, we're being used, we're pawns in the political game, and that's on both sides, not just the White House. I don't feel like our president has been engaged personally. I don't think he has a fire in his belly to attack this problem and make us feel like he's going to fight this offshore and be able to look us in the eye and say, hey, we may fail, but it won't be for a lack of effort. Mm-hmm. And then the other front is the fact that BP is a callous, cold, calculating, faceless entity, in my opinion. They know we're hurting down here. They know the only thing they can do for us is financial, because our tourist season has been absolutely devastated. And our folks can't make it. There's no resources for them to make it through the year.
You had just overcome Hurricane Ike, Katrina, all kinds of incredible fishing regulations, and now to have this happen. And, of course, with this latest story of Richard Cruz and him dying of a self-inflicted wound, he may have brought a lot of attention to that area by his death. And, we honor this man and his tragedy. He must have been just so incredibly despondent that he couldn't even look at his water any longer.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, he was a buddy of mine, and I thought the world of him. He was a great dad, a great husband. I was with the family yesterday when they brought the boat back over to the marina. Oh. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure his life wasn't in vain, wasn't taken in vain. I'm very saddened, but then at the same time I just get angry. The more I think of it, those 11 lives lost at the explosion, all because of what, I feel like was a corporation that was chasing the buck at the expense of everyone else. And I'm a capitalist. I'm going to make that clear. I absolutely have no problem with somebody making a profit. But when you sidestep safety, when you have an elitist hierarchy dictating down to small people at our expense, I got a real problem with that. And the small people are hurting right now, and the BP's doing nothing whatsoever to step up and take care of the problem.
We had a geologist, Chris, from California, was on our program, Chris Landau, and he said there's something really wrong with this. He said any geologist in their right mind knows this could have been eliminated. It could have not happened. It should have not happened. And there's something else going on here. He said, for the life of me, I can't figure it out because this kind of MacGruber approach is just making no sense whatsoever with what they're doing in the Gulf. Now, that's got to be the problem that everybody's having, is this a whiplash situation of what is going on? Why aren't they fixing it?
Yeah, I'm like you. I just got this gut feeling that something's not right, something's not being shared with us, and I don't know whether it's the federal government with BP, and you hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but something it just doesn't seem right. And BP will not come out and talk about why they don't use X, Y, and Z methods, which, are all over the place. Why don't you nuke it? Why don't you napalm it? Why don't you do, all these suggestions, and they're just absolutely closed mouth on it all. I don't know. Like I said, I feel real, maybe I've been reading too many tech sheets, but, there's some real scary catastrophic scenarios out there, and I don't know if those are possible. I don't have that kind of expertise, but again, I don't trust anybody. Hey, they told us it was 1,000 barrels a day, and they stuck to that for weeks, and now we're finding out it's 70 to 100,000. I mean, how do you miss that? How do you drill 5,000 feet deep and not know what the volume of oil coming out of the pipe that the diameter and the pressure of is? I mean, come on.
And they know that. And Chris Landau said that he said he kept the mud sheets for rigs before, and he said they know down to the gallon how much is coming out of those. The other thing that he brought up is that Schlumberger had some problems with the safety on the rig and asked that their people be removed, which it was denied. That's now become public information. The Schlumberger had their own, since there were no helicopters coming for 2 weeks, had their own company send out helicopters and remove their people from the rig just minutes in advance. Now, I know causation is not a real issue right now, or what happened before, because you're just trying to get it stopped. But the other thing, that makes no sense right now that I understand is that you're not being told what the environmental monitoring is there. You're not being told what the benzene levels and hydrogen sulfide levels are. Can you tell us whether or not the EPA and Homeland Security are addressing that with you?
Well, I don't know that is the case. Supposedly there's a considerable tech sheet and data sheet published on their website and other, but for the layman, I guess what we want to know is someone to come in and sit down and say, hey, guys, this is how it is. This is what it's all about. And we've actually just hired our own geologist with a specialty expertise in oil remediation and spills. And we're going to bring him in. We're going to do all of our own testing, our soil testing.
Wow.
We're going to make sure that we know what we're dealing with. And going forward, we won't, so if we have to go to court, if we have to do what we have to do, we want to start documenting it now.
We've got a lot of listeners in your area there that tune in every day to the Power Hour, and they're getting a lot of conflicting reports. They're concerned about reports that people are being told to get ready to evacuate. Maybe a lot of this is just internet writing, but what are you hearing from FEMA or from Homeland Security, whomever, Department of the Interior, anybody? Is there any talk about preparations for evacuation from the area?
Not with me. I've heard absolutely nothing whatsoever about evacuating the area. The odor has not been real strong here. We've had some days where, it was strong enough you needed to get off the beach, but it's not a persistent. Of course, I wouldn't want anybody in it for any length of time, obviously. But, no, I have not heard anything like that. Now, I have a meeting scheduled with Homeland Security coming up, and I guess they'll brief me on what's going on. If there's anything to be briefed on, they maybe just come and ask what they can do. I don't know. I hope that's what they're doing. I hope they're coming to ask if they can help, and maybe they'll give my phone number to Mr. Feinberg so he'll come down there and find out what's going on the ground.
Yes.